So yeah, we are on Victoria of Wight, sailing across to Portsmouth. It's a fine day, albeit a little bit hazy. Yes, just going over to Portsmouth, then we're going to drive to Rowlands Castle, place of my birth and upbringing, and just have a bit of a walk through Stansted Forest, maybe walk up to Stansted House, and generally have a chilled time. Okay. So now we're in Rowlands Castle, place of my birth and upbringing, and we're now on Rowlands Castle Village Green. Let's get past that ugly sign there. There are always signs everywhere, isn't it, to obscure the view and spoil otherwise nice looking things. Yeah, so Rowlands Castle Village Green. We'll do a slow sweep round, and that building there used to be the post office when I was little. The building next door used to be the what do you call it, the drugstore, the chemist. And yeah, it's a beautiful day to visit Rowlands Castle, and we have to say there's quite a bustle about the place today. There's a lot of people walking up and down, and I don't know if you can see it from here, there's a big group of cyclists, just about see, sitting outside at the little cafe at the end. And here's one of the said cyclists. Yeah, so it's a great day to visit Rowlands Castle. In a moment we're going to go for a walk through Stansted Forest and up towards Stansted House, which is unfortunately closed to the public until after Easter, but you can still go to the cafe and the gardens and so on. Okay, so now we are starting to walk along the very wide and long avenue that leads up to Stansted House. I can actually see it in the background. You probably can't see it on the screen at the moment because of the long distance and rather wide angle aspect of the camera, but I can see it there. So yeah, we're going to continue walking along here. On the left hand side we've got Stansted Forest, on the right hand side I think some open fields. But yes, walking along this beautiful broad avenue, and we'll keep filming as we go along. Well, we're at least halfway along the avenue towards the house now, although you probably still can't really see it on the screen. I'll just turn around to show you how far we've come. So there we go. Maybe about halfway towards the house, I don't know. And just a few words about myself and my connection with Rowlands Castle. So I was born in Rowlands Castle back in April of 1964, so almost 61 years ago, and I lived there with my brother and sister and parents, although my brother and sister grew up and left the family home. I was the last because I'm the youngest, and so I lived in the house in Rowlands Castle until I was 25. Then came the big interruption. I went off to live in Germany, lived and worked in Germany for 17 years. Got married, had 5 children, and then came back to live on the Isle of Wight. But I still had the connection with Rowlands Castle through my parents, who continued on living here in this very same house that I was born in 61 years ago. My father passed away in 2003, and my mother died in the year before last, in November. And only just recently has the house, the family house that I was born and brought up in, been sold to somebody else. And today, for the very first time, I walked past the house of my birth and upbringing, and saw evidence of somebody else living there, which is a situation that I had considered for quite some time. How will that be when one day the house, which was for me like a kind of a paradise when I was little and growing up, had a lovely big back garden, and the house wasn't very large, but it was very nice to live in for us as a family, and lots of fantastic memories, particularly of Christmas time. My parents always put on a kind of a magical Christmas for us. And being Christians and actually believing in Christmas helped as well, I have to say. But yes, so the situation that I'd long considered, how will it be the first time you ever walk past the house and somebody else is living there, which is always seemed like a very, very strange concept somehow. Well, we did that this morning, walked past the house, saw someone else's driveway. I saw they built a fence across the bottom of the driveway. But as with all of these things, it was a bit of an anticlimax. I thought, okay, well, it's somebody else's turn now. You know, we had our heyday in that house back in 1963 or so when my father bought it. We were the new people moving in and getting the place into a family home, and then we had our kind of heyday there. And now my parents have both passed away. Now it's time for somebody else to take it over and do something with it. Anyway, that's enough for me rambling on. So this is the final bit of filming, walking directly along the avenue towards the house, because there's a road. We have to cross the road, and I don't think you can walk straight up. I don't think we can walk straight up the middle here when we get to the other side of this road. But you can just about see the house there. As I say, this is a very wide angle camera, so you can't see it very well, but as we get a bit closer. So just turn around, see how far we've come. Yeah. So I don't know how long it is along this avenue. A couple of miles maybe, about 2 miles possibly. Anybody knows, let me know. So, okay, we'll see where we get led now. Footpath only, okay. Have to be fairly committed to walk along here, obviously. Okay, so this is the, what do you call it, the gatehouse or the lodge house. These houses they always used to have at the beginning of the drives up to these impressive estates. And even just the lodge house is fairly impressive, isn't it? And are we allowed to walk up here or not? I don't know.
Except on business.
Except on business, yeah. There must be a way up to the house though, because it's open to the public and so on.
Yeah.
So apparently we can walk up here. It's really just cars they don't want coming up here. Private drive, no access to Stansted House except on, no admittance except on party business. So the driveway is opening up a little bit now, and if we look to the right we can catch a glimpse of the house over there. Still a bit small and in the background, but we're getting closer. So we've got some shaggy cows here. I think they're possibly Highland cattle. Let's get them in a bit close. There they are. So now we're turning right off the driveway onto a little path that leads us to Stansted House and Chapel, tea rooms, garden centre, maze, picnic area, craft shops, light railway. Well, that sounds interesting. So now we're getting our first, what you could say, proper views of the house a little bit closer up on our left hand side here. So I'll just sweep round to the left and then zoom in a bit. There we go. So we're into the grounds now. Just going to sweep round and discreetly film the people enjoying their coffees and teas and light meals. And round here, as I say, the house is actually closed until after Easter. Whether that means you can't get anywhere near the house or not, I don't really know. But we'll just take a stroll through here, the Dutch garden. This is very peaceful. Some goldfish as well. And I think that's the chapel there. This door looks locked to me. Very locked. Okay, so I'm just going to do a bit of sneaky filming over the top. Now we're in the Arboretum, and I'm reliably informed by daughter number 3 that this is a Wellingtonia.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a majestic tree anyway. So now we can get something like a view of the house. There it is. Sadly inaccessible at the moment. We'll have to come back after Easter again, and then we can actually go inside and have a look round. And here at Stansted Park there is also a railway, a light railway just coming down the tracks. So we're now walking back through the woods. We've been to Stansted House. We spent quite some time there, and it's a wonderful place to go. But even better, of course, when the house is open, which it will be in a week or so's time. And now we're tracing our steps back to Rowlands Castle through the woods rather than along the avenue. So we are back down at the bottom, walked all the way back from Stansted House back to the back end of Rowlands Castle, just about to come back out into Finchdean Road again. I think when the Lavant Springs bubble up, they were talking about these what look like dried up riverbeds here. Every so often the Lavant Springs around here bubble up and overflow, and these dry riverbeds are filled with water. So we are back in Rowlands Castle. That was quite a long walk up to Stansted and back. Long for me at my time of life, of course. I don't know, from here up to Stansted House, I reckon it's probably a couple of miles. And then we did quite a lot of wandering around at the house as well, and then walked all the way back again. But it was a very good day, and can thoroughly recommend going up to Stansted House if you've got it's a nice sunny day and you don't know what to do with yourself. There's lots to do there. There was a maze there which I didn't film, and you can play mini golf, and there's a shop with local delicacies. I noticed products from the garlic farm on the Isle of Wight where we live. There's a second-hand bookshop. They have stage productions there as well in the summertime, and open-air theatre productions. And you can look around the house, of course, and lots to do and see. But now we're chilling back in Rowlands Castle.